Hello, good afternoon. Jason Phillips from Appraise. Just wrapping up our pre-purchase inspection on a 1972 Chevelle Malibu two-door sport coupe. 13637 VIN K code. That K code, Kansas City, Missouri build. I'm going to show a cold start on this. 68 degrees here on the block and 68 degrees on the floor and on the bumper, so it's been 70. So it's been sitting in here quiet and unstarted, so we're going to get to do a cold start for the prospective client wanting to purchase the vehicle and then go through it. I'm going to pull it up and get it closer to the door. We can get a better look at it and get the jack back under it. Before I get it fired up and loud, it's got a GM big block in it. It's a 289 cast block. It's going to be hard to show you on the video right now. But that's a 454 block. Not necessarily the same as a 427 block, which is what the air cleaner lid suggests. It's a 72 through 78 era truck block. Sometimes used in the heavy-duty trucks, sometimes in 2-bolt and 4-bolt main configurations. Under hood, there's some older sound deadener present on the firewall. The inner plastic fenders are in good shape. There's a little crack right there and a few scuff marks. Had the splash covers changed. Engine paint's in pretty nice shape. Antifreeze is good and green. Oil is clean and full and does not smell like fuel. No evidence of a collision along the upper core support, and a few scuffs and scratches on these inner fenders. The brake booster and master cylinder could stand to be detailed up some, as well as the steering gearbox and the upper portions of the frame rails, which all appear original from underneath the car. That could stand to be detailed and cleaned up just a little bit. Other than that, underhood's pretty clean. Added cowl air cleaner and an added cowl steel hood. This was a non-SS car from the factory, so probably a bench seat car. And aftermarket regulator and a tar top cover added to the battery. So we'll fire it up and cold start it here in a second. Got the antifreeze cap back on. Lacking a little bit of paint detail on the sides of the radiator, but the core itself looked like it was in nice shape. The engine pad has been shaved, decked when the motor was done, so we don't have the privilege of seeing what the block was originally. Before I throw the lid back on, Edelbrock Performer aluminum intake Holley dual feed carb with an electric choke, and it looks pretty clean. Chrome box there over the distributor. I lifted up the dual adjust door and do not see a dual adjust, so we've got upgraded ignition without disassembling all of that. All right, let's get her fired up. Charcoal canister still in place and hooked up with original color-coded clips. That's nice. Original lines possibly going to it. Aftermarket hooker headers. And trim tag indicating
I think that is the guy.
Indicating a color change over to black from original orange. It's trim code 65, if I'm holding that still enough. I don't know if you can see it. Orange Flame, I think, was the actual GM description. And 704, it's the trim, 704 interior trim. 05E build is the 5th week in March, or excuse me, 5th week in May 1972, Kansas City. So there decodes that. All right, let's get it fired up for the 10th time, right? Actually, the reverse lockout is hooked up, which is kind of cool and rare. That won't come out of reverse until I turn the key forward. That's cool. High idle circuit appears to be working. Temperature gauge there is pegged, but we've got aftermarket gauges down below. Looks like we're reading 6570 cold pounds oil pressure. We're charging. A little bit of vacuum. Very little bit of gas. Tachometer is hooked up and running. Looks like we got an amp gauge hooked up and running as well. Well, we're not going to be able to see a temp unless I hit it with my original gauge. So let me hop out. Let's check it out. Got a nice little rumble to it. No smoke in the building. That's a good sign. All right, let's pull it out of here and check it out in the daylight. A little bit of exhaust ping, but I don't hear any knocking. Starting to come up the temperature. All right, hit the pause and we'll get it out of the building here. Alright, the next part of the job is going to be a little windy. I got it outside so we can get a better look before the sun sets. And we'll hop up underneath the car and go around it. The reflective quality on the paintwork is really nice. The bold print in my jacket, I'm about 3 feet away from the car right now, and the whole car looks like that. So really no excuses on the reflective quality. It doesn't appear to have much shrinkage or orange peel or any other weird, contaminations. I think the paint was well applied. I do apologize for the wind noise. There's some hairline polishing scratches right here that will likely buff away. Before I move further ahead, this is an exploded view that the client can stop on, do a freeze frame, and get a gander at what I've discovered on the inspection. Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise, 800-301-3886. If you need an inspection, give us a call. There's my commercial. We got about 300 guys on the ground. Oh, I'm the only one that shoots videos and does video inspections. You can get those the same night. So there's a few readings I'll go over real quickly. These are mil readings, mil thickness on the paint. 5 to 12, those are great reading on the fender. 10 to 21, nice readings on the door. A little bit of filler there in the black box on the door corner. Wheel tubs are in nice shape with very little body caulking applied. I'll show you those in a minute. Little area of lack of adhesion back behind the tire on that side. Otherwise, the quarter panels appear to be OEM. Fender dog legs are really solid. 9 to 22 are most of the readings on that side of the car. And then we go up the other side of the car, pretty much the same. A little bit of filler back there on the package tray, the rear cowl, or where that window typically leaks on a GM car and causes some body repair to need to be done. There's some light scratches on the glass. We'll cover those in a minute. They're going to look worse in the sunlight. And some light polishing scratches in various locations on the car, chipping the grill. All right, let's go over some of that stuff. I'm going to shut the car off for a few minutes so I'm not screaming over the audio here. A few small little stone chips, tiny stone splatter that appears to be an original OEM windshield. The side glass, generally speaking, is pretty clean for OEM glass. A few little hairline roller marks. maybe a little mark back there. The window regulators work fine. The heaviest of any orange peel at all is up here on the uppers where the painter slash buffer didn't want to buff through. The rear glass has a few, slight hairline scratches you can kind of see. Probably has the most wear of any of the glass in there. All the window trim and windows appear to have been pulled prior to the repaint. Chrome bumpers with guards, they were replaced or replated. There's a real minor patch of scratches right here and there. Got still photos of those, but not bad at all. SS trim and badging was changed. Wheel opening trim was changed. Window surrounds are original. Rain gutters probably replaced. SS grill added. The wheel openings fit pretty nice. I just saw some snow. Original marker lights. And again, the front bumpers are in nice shape. The guards show a little more black dot stage 1 patina or pitting than do the rest of the trim. Older SS badge on this grill. And a small chip chunk missing right there. Car's really straight down both sides. The doors open and close nicely with very little effort. This overlap line where the dog leg of the fender meets the rocker looks pretty good from this side. Has a subtle overlap from this side, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. Else it presents nicely. There goes my stuff blowing away. I'm going to get under the car before maybe we can do the rest of it inside. Before I forget, there's a little crack in the valance, piece of tape or something over it, underneath the front grill emblem. Probably a chip from whenever that happened. A little bit of paint peel on the headlight bezels. The bottom of the core support is in good shape. That'll lighten up in a minute. No apparent damage on these frame rail extensions. Didn't see any buckling prior to the spring pockets on either side. OEM undercoat is visible, or dealer added undercoat. Front and rear sway bars in place. The suspension is older. Front and rear, the control arms do not appear to have been cleaned up or restored. They're just in kind of good survivor condition. Front disc brake setup. That frame rail is looking nice over there. Same description applies left to right if I don't say. Shocks have been changed. Here's an original paper tag present on this coil spring, so we assume our coil springs are original as well. You can't read it. Car's been running for probably 10 minutes off and on, maybe 12 minutes. I don't see any oil seepage out the front main pan seal. Some scrapes on the bottom of the oil pan, but I don't see anything dripping yet out of the back of the motor. That's a good sign. Headers are real clean on the driver's side. A little bit of oil staining going on the passenger side. Now, those headers might have been used or from another car. Who knows? That might not be coming out of this car. It's tough to tell on an inspection. Well, speaking of transmissions, there's a 3925661 Muncie P. I have to cheat and look. I don't remember what the codes were, but it looks like it's a 72 unit. And we'll get back and take a peek at that in a minute. And it's a C code 3925661. So after 70 or 71, they started coding them as A, B, and C for the rock crusher versus an M22 wide pattern and or short shift. So there's our front suspension, upper control arms, a little bit of surface rust and undercoat, but solid and stable. Don't really see any damage down beneath. The car has some big old meaty 3-inch exhaust with an H-pipe built in. Floor pans are in really good shape structurally. They're They're undercoated. I don't see any patches front to rear. Original fuel lines and brake lines and clips all present. Maybe some of them have been changed along the way. A little better view at the body bushings here. I don't know if my light will hold up. But those are original OEM body bushings. They do not appear to have been changed. They're not dry cracked, so they look like they're in pretty good shape. If I can get that to lighten up a little bit. And the frame rails are very stout and in good condition. And this condition is exhibited front to rear, side to side. Really no differences. There's some undercoat peeling off the frame rails here, so you see a little bit of surface rust oxidation, but it's not horrific. A little bit of black paint overspray from when they painted the car left on the side of the frame, but the frame itself is not really detailed. Big Flowmaster Series 40s, I believe those are. Nice beefy exhaust. There's the beginning of the boxed lower control arms. 12-bolt rear end sway bar. That's unrestored. Let me get a better look at that. It's so cold out here. Here's a better look at the reflective quality of the paint while I'm down low as well. Subtle, if any, additional orange peel is present. There's a little bit of mud buildup on the car here. I was scraping some of that off, and some of that will clean up. It's possible that that is actually a chip right there. I might have marked it earlier, and there's a small chip right there. They're fairly insignificant, but depends on who you are and what your expectations are. Wheel opening moldings fit pretty good. A little bit of lap there. Aftermarket moldings don't always fit the greatest. But the door lines are blocked out nice and leveled real flat, and the gauge was reading nicely all around. This whole edge here is not built out of Bondo, which is nice. You sometimes see that down in the dog legs where a guy's trying to get a better panel match, 30. So we got a little bit deeper reading there. Door corner 8.0. Up here, this door corner showed us no reading, INFL, but 3 or 4 inches down we got a read. And 2 inches up we have a read, so there's just a little bit of filler right in there. The wheels that you'd expect to see on this vehicle, and the caps and rings are all in nice shape. All that's reproduction, I would say. BF Goodrich radial TAs with plenty of meat. My fingers are getting so cold I can barely turn my phone back on and off. The wheel tubs are in nice shape. No evidence either side, left or right, of any major patchwork. A little bit of body caulk there. Let me slide under and keep rolling. Up in the trunk, I did not see any replacement quarter panel seams. The bottom of the quarter panel ledge inner to the outer looks nice. Still a few factory spot welds present. Up under here we have some undercoat that's been applied over the years. This rear tail panel support doesn't look like it's been smacked or hooked on too badly over the years. I don't see really any reason to think that those extensions were damaged. The body bushing up here it shows a little bit of age present. Same with this side here. 12 bolt has had a new cover updated. I can't read the casting number. It's a little bit packed with grease and some corrosion, and you can see some corrosion on the housing. They added airbags inside the springs, if you can see that. There we go. And the air filler is right back here, mounted up on the tail support. So there's a little hook bend right here. At some point, I know this is upside down, I apologize, but right there somebody might have hooked onto that a long time ago and towed the car out of the weeds or something, who knows. But I don't see any other physical damage up here in the trunk extensions or the quarter panel extensions. Original die hole plugs are present. Let's see if I can get a view on those. There you go. See them? And that area is not all rotted out or decayed. Brake drum backing plates have not been restored. Add a little light to that. Floors look identical on the other side. So I would say there's no major frame damage to be concerned about on this car, and it's an original underbody that's not been frame off, is my opinion. All right, got to get my gloves on. I can't barely feel my fingertips. It's dropped about 20 degrees today out here. So rear bumper, we've showed that already. The fit of the deck lid is nice. Again, a little bit of adhesion weakness there, but nothing too scary. A little bit of a shrinkage line right up in here, but you really have to be critical. And I guess I've been called that before. The general person observing this car, or even a fairly good car guy, would probably go, man, this is a sharp car. That's the general opinion. Reflective quality, again, really nice down the passenger side. Very little to cry or whine about regarding chips or scratches or shrinkage or anything of that nature. All the wheels are in the same condition. Those wheels were repainted to the best of my abilities to see it. But there's a shot, you didn't really see the passenger side before, and now you're seeing it. All right, before we got complete loss of sun, let's go through the interior and we'll drive it. First of all, the door's close, really nice. This cable's a little bit stretched and the button pops back out. There we go, it'll come out. But the door closes with a real minimal effort. The passenger door closes, or driver's door closes even nicer. Doesn't really sag to speak of. Door lines are good. Rubber seals all been changed. Seat covers are in really nice shape. Package tray presents nicely. Original rear defroster car. That headliner, if I was a gambling man, I would say it's an original headliner. Original perforated material, looks really good. Almost too good, maybe you'd think it'd been changed, but the car does have some OEM parts still visible on the interior. That dash pad has just a little bit of a shrinkage bubble in it, but it hasn't been changed that I can see, and doesn't have any significant age cracks or heat cracks in it. Face of the dash is original. The heater controls probably were changed because those are super clean. They don't show any delamination or aging. Console and shifter were likely added, and they are in very nice shape. The console door works, the glove box door operates, and the light is on. Regarding the seats, a little bit of entry wear here and a little bit on the driver's side. I'll show you that. The seats move forward and backward as they should. They tilt as they should, and the seat backs are in nice shape. Side trim and the door panel trim was probably all changed in a set. It's got a little tiny mark right here in a cut in the door panel on the passenger door. Driver's door panel looks nice. A little bit of yellowing on the window knobs. But the door corners look really good. That's a nice skin line there. No evidence of repair work. Aftermarket gauges. AM/FM aftermarket 8-track. Clock is working. Amazing. There's very little evidence of the original orange paint. And there was a little bit in the trunk. I'll go through the trunk in a minute. Key buzzer's working and lockout's working. Just a little bit of entry wear here, and a little poke hole right there. Just a little tiny poke hole in the seat cover. Carpets might have been sprayed or dyed at one point in time. They just show a little bit of age, a little bit of cosmetic deterioration down there. Paddle set's in good shape. Little paint chippage in the door jamb on the hinge. This door panel shows really nicely. Seal's new, door corner is good. Dash shows well. Gauge face is clean, lens is clear. This is likely all aftermarket stuff from NPD or similar. Put it in reverse so I can get the keys out. so I can show you the trunk. Aftermarket spare tire cover. This is an old bias ply tire and a steel wheel. It's not a matched wheel to this set. Old polyglass. This is original aqua splatter in the trunk. That's pretty cool. Set of mats. The jack is bolted down where it should be. And the floor and the wheel tubs, they're real nice for original OEM. Original wiring harness present to the taillights. But you can see there's no decay or rot in the splash areas where the wheel tubs are formed to the trunk pan. And up inside the lip edge here, nobody's cheated and cut a set of quarter panels in. I know that's dark. There's better photos to be seen of that. So the trunk is in real nice shape, but with no obvious damage or evidence of collision. A little bit of age just showing cosmetically. Some paint peel and surface peel, but I do not believe those quarters have ever been changed. Seams look great up in here and down here in the trunk on both sides. Backside of the trunk lid's not finished off in a it's finished off in a matte black finish, not a gloss. So that's not necessarily correct. On the roof, gauges out well. All right, let's take it for a ride. Lights are working. Oil pressure still holding up around 55, 60 pounds. We let it warm up a little bit about 20 to 30 minutes ago. This video is going to end up being about 30 minutes long, but I pause it a lot, so building of the video takes longer than what you would imagine. I'm trying to do it all in one shot so we don't have to edit too many videos together. Jason Phillips from Appraise, wrapping up a pre-purchase inspection on a 1972 Chevrolet Malibu two-door hardtop coupe. 800-301-3886 if you need inspection service. I handle these inspections in Michigan, Northern Ohio, Northern Indiana, all the way over to Chicagoland if necessary. These are consignment cars. We are not usually allowed to take them out of the stables. A little bit of Armstrong steering going on. You can hear the gears a-whining in that sea-coated Muncie. Speedometer is turning. Odometer appears to be turning. Car's turning about 1,500 RPMs at 30 miles an hour according to the gauge. Feels about accurate. Starting to come up the temperature. We will check that again when I get back with a digital gauge. Clutch is engaging About halfway through the pedal. Didn't feel any pulsing on the brakes. Feels like a posse. Car hooks up pretty good. No stutter, no hesitation. And this is pretty cold weather. It does have an electric choke, so perhaps that is functioning as it's designed. Wipers are functioning on both speeds. Brake lights appear to be functioning. Reverse. Side marker lights are operational. That sounded like reverse. Anything? Is it in reverse? Reverse lights are not likely hooked up. Common, oh, there we go. Got them. They are hooked up. All right, we'll pull it in and do a engine temperature. Oh, I guess I better take the parking brake off. So it appears that everything is functioning. Heater slides were free. I checked those earlier. A little bit of wear in the face up there, not much. And the fan is blowing. The radio is working. Turn that heater blower on, see if we can hear that when we get in. Thanks for hanging out. If you need an inspection, 800-301-3886. Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise, finishing up a 1972 Chevy Chevelle. 454, Muncie 4-speed, 12-bolt rear. Just pulled it back inside. Nothing appears to be pouring out of the motor. You hear those lifters churning away. That's a little blurry, but it looks like about 176 on the water pump. On the heads. Car's been running for at least 20 to 25